All right, we're on. So I'm going to go over the weekly analysis. We finna get ready for next week. We finna get into some very important details. Uh, let's see. We're going through all the pairs that I trade, as you can see on the screen here. You got NAS 100, Pound USD, just forex pairs and futures. Um, just know, be mindful that everything that we go over is essentially the same thing. I use the same strategy every single day, and I'm going to be showing you how I do that. But today is not necessarily about execution. Not swing trading right now, but we will be breaking down key zones and key areas of interest. So just stay tuned, and we're finna get started. Okay, here. First things first, NAS 100. This is base, so we have to make sure this get evaluated properly. As you can see, this was a missed opportunity. I just marked it up, but it's all good. We'll catch them next time. Um, Usually what I'll do is I'll start from the 4 hour time frame, of course, higher time frame. I don't go too far out. I don't think it's a point. Yeah, I don't think it's like a reason to go out as far. So I don't go out as much. Let me see. Let me go ahead and close this out. I don't need all this. I don't go out as much. All right. So for NAS 100, of course, we're looking at bullish activity going into next week. We're hitting off a higher time frame PDO array, which is here. Don't get too caught up in understanding that we have to break this high here. So don't get caught up in thinking because we rejected this order block that is going to actually propel higher. We need more context and framework to line up before we get in for any type of trade. But it's good price action. It looks beautiful. Let's get on a lower scale. See, now it's starting to open up a little more, and you can see more context. As you can see here, we have an inversion that occurred right here. But as you also know that there was a balanced price range that occurred, so price could possibly continue. Now that being said, you have to evaluate properly on a lower time frame before you get inside any type of trade setups like this. You don't want to get caught up in the rapture, going into like economic news releases and things like that. So now we start to see how Asia play a big role in how we formulate our entries and models. So now we're in the 15-minute time frame, and that's usually what I use when I start using session timing and liquidity injections to help me find my actual entry and my execution patterns. So for instance, we have let's see, whisper bullish range creation happening right here. This is our range creation, so we're inside this dealing range. Of course, there was a liquidity grab right here. It does not mean that we should be expecting a sell-off just yet. We need proper context before we look to sell this. So don't be too quick to sell, because this could also be a continuation move from this retracement here. So we need more context. Just simple as that. We need more context going into Monday. Here we kind of get more into the gritty as far as entries and how we can be able to take advantage of them. So now we can kind of, since we're on a lower time frame, we're on a 5 minute. This is my bread and butter time frame. This is where I make a lot of my entries, and where I get profits the most. So yes, we have a void here in the market This is an area of interest. We all know that. If you've been trading ICT, of course they'll tell you this is the level that the price should come down and hit. Now to understand this on another level and not necessarily be so so common, because common does not mean successful, as we know that as traders. Use this as a way of evaluating how you will be able to take advantage of a setup going into the next day. Some people I know will just fade. They'll sell this to be able to close out on that, and it happens a lot. The void that's created through the weekend get filled most of the time, but I find that doing that may have some consistency. But I found success just trading the New York sessions and not necessarily focusing on the voids, just using for my advantage. So that being said, the area of interest I would say is I would want price, or I expect price to come down, create some type of rejection before it actually propel up in the upward direction. And that's just my bias going into tomorrow. Of course, if it gives me what I want, I'm taking the entry like I did last week. Like I'm taking it. I'm actually, I like this price action. I really think that it'll be a good Monday going into Q4. So now we're on pound USD. Pound USD. I'm not gonna spend too much time on a higher time frame. I don't necessarily. I can squint in like this on a 5 minute and tell, and have an understanding of where price will go. In my opinion, I'm very much bearish on pound USD. As you can see, we're breaking these lows here. We're getting lower and lower to these lows that's created. Not necessarily like I don't trade liquidity based. I don't just trade strictly liquidity based. I implement timing into a lot of my entries and certain injections, and that's how I find success. But that being said, don't sleep on the liquidity pools. They do help with extra confirmation if it aligns with your actual trading plan. So that being said, we're gonna keep going further. I'm looking at pound to sell off. I think as pound snatched this buy side liquidity and sold off, I think it's going to continue. Maybe we'll have some type of rejection up here in this area before we sell off even more. That's my opinion. I think we're going to sell off more. I don't think we're going to reverse this yet. There's too much. It's too much. Look at this. I don't want to buy against this. I'll wait until price show me that is creating a reversal before I buy into something like that. That's my opinion. So take it or leave it. Euro USD, one of my favorite pairs. This is one of my money makers. Same case. Very bearish on Euro USD. As you can see, this is all bearish activity. Not buying. I'm not buying against this bear market. I don't know who invented that. Some of you ICT traders think that you can just take liquidity pools all day, and not understanding that if the market is telling you that overall sentiment is bearish, you should not be taking buys. Just stop it, please. It is not cute, So stop that. But we're gonna look to get in some type of reversal before we sell off. Give me 1 second. We're going to get into some type of reversal before we sell off. As you can see, there's a void just before this Asian range. Asian range play a big role in how I trade. That's why you see it on every chart I have. Asian range play a real big role in how I trade. Because I understand that the Asian range is a sense of balance in the market. It's almost like the cycle resets. So if you trade if you implement the Asian range, it gives you a point of reference to be able to take certain trades, so you can implement your everyday strategy with it. So that's how I utilize Asian range. As you can see here, Asian range is setting up. This is a balanced market, and what I mean by balance, let me give you like a little quick tutorial. So the market is like this. This is what the market is doing whenever it's accumulating some type of economic news release or anything. It could be a lot of stuff that's happening that's necessarily like kind of like squishing the market to be able to be imbalanced. And just before it get to a certain point to where it then expands out of the imbalance. When the market expand out of the imbalance is when I notice it and I take advantage of that opportunity. I don't trade in markets like this. As you can see, this situation, and which is the Asian range. We don't trade Asian range. Well, I don't specifically. Situations like this. This is Asian range. You see how it's up and down. Those are conditions that I don't trade in. I trade when the market get active like this, like when it comes up like this and that. As you can see, these are opportunities that we should be taking advantage of, and not these opportunities. So that being said, that's how I implement Asian range into my everyday strategy, and hopefully that can help you out. But for Euro USD, I don't see. I foresee it coming up inside the void, giving us some type of context. Some type of context. Maybe it'll do like a algorithmic model here, and we can take advantage of that sell off here. But until then, we'll know tomorrow. Just nothing set in stone. UCAD, as you can see, UCAD paid out very beautifully. Like it's almost headed to TP10. I don't know why it's not showing right here. Let me see. TP10 should be showing. So guys who still inside this trade, we are up. We are up. Like this is a beautiful trade. This is a beautiful trade. So this trade is headed to TP10. We already surpassed 10R. We already surpassed TP6. And for those who are still holding from yesterday, you're up. Maybe if you're still holding from yesterday, you are up. Wow, you're up like 77 pips on UCAD. And if you're holding from, that's Thursday, but if you're holding from Friday, you're up 50 pips. So this may just be one of the best trades that we have this week. This is amazing. So for those who are holding, good job. As you can see, I dropped in the chat, I'm not in the trade anymore. I'm not, unfortunately. I tricked myself out of getting out of this trade. Just being conservative on Friday. And you can see I post about it inside the recap, the daily trade recap. You will see where I closed out on some profits, and that was it for me. But some people are still inside this trade. Keep holding the trade until it hit destination. Secure some profits, and just be happy with it. Be happy with it. It's a winning trade. Now UJ has been doing numbers. I closed out this trade when the market opened up. It snapped at my TP, so it hit 10R. It's posted inside the chat. This is another winner. So we have 3 trades within the last week that hit 10 that hit 10R. That's amazing. That's crazy. Like this probably be one of the best like weeks of this year. Going into fourth quarter, not going into fourth quarter, we're going into November. So I thank God for this week. This was beautiful. This was like a bag. Hopefully some of you guys take advantage of this trade. Because it's still inside. If you still inside, then if I was you, I would just secure. I would just close out. Because 10R returns is crazy. Like that's something you don't see all the time. It's almost like a fairy tale. I'm just be honest with you. So that's a good thing. So UJ, now for UJ going into the future, price has overexpanded itself. So we're looking for price to kind of come back down and correct what it has created, which was a imbalance. It has to get back in balance. So it created imbalance to then come back into balance. And I think it will do that after it retraces, fills the void, and then it will find a way to balance out here before it continues up. Now, I don't know what it will do tomorrow, but I do know that I do feel like it will retrace and it will balance out. So it won't be a lot of movement tomorrow. I don't think it will be on UJ until Asian session. So Eastern time, maybe around like 5 p.m. 8 p.m. it's gonna start jumping. It's gonna get jumping around that time. It's gonna get to doing backflips and twerking. So we'll wait. We'll wait for that day. We'll wait for that time to come. EG. EG is real tricky. I don't like sending signals on EG because EG is you got to be very advanced to trade EG. You know, like I find that if I don't have to trade in front of somebody, I would have more confidence in trading EG. That's just my opinion. Like for some reason, I'm not too good with trading EG, and I understand that EG is SMT to pound USD and Euro USD cable. So it's like the reference you can use to take advantage. So if Euro USD and pound USD is moving, EG is not, and vice versa. So you can use that for SMT. For those ICT traders or who don't know about it, that's a gem you can use. I don't use it for that reason. I try to just stay standard. I don't necessarily implement SMT as much as most ICT traders. I don't believe that that's and everybody teach their own. Teach their own. You use it if you feel like it's best for you. You're using it, but I don't. It don't work for me. So I found a way where my strategy worked for me, and I'm good with that. So that's one less thing for me to worry about on that end. And DXY is, as you can see, it's prospering right now. It's during election time. The market is gonna like make some big moves. You know, the United States president is about to be we're about to find our United States president. So that being said, you know, it's gonna be moves all over the place. You gotta just give it some time to happen. You know, like you're gonna have a lot of volatility in the market going into this week. A lot of like liquidity injections. It's gonna be a lot of backflips happening because of the fact that we'll have a new president. And the election date is coming up, and it's a lot of news around that area. So that being said, today is Sunday. You know, this is my first weekly breakdown of the market. I have not done this in a while. I'm coming out of my shell again. And I'm a lot more open, you know, for teaching education and helping others find the success that I had also found. And I'm happy about this. I'm just so happy, man. I'm just, you know, I like to connect with traders all over the world, you know. So hopefully you guys learned something from this webinar. Please review this. This is the weekly breakdown. I will be doing this like weekly. I'll be doing this weekly. So stay tuned and see you on the charts tomorrow. All right, peace.